What's up, everybody? It's Brian from USA.Patriot.card. It's the Monday after the May 2023 card show. Man, what a weekend it was. I could try to color this up with a lot of pictures and videos, and I have very limited amount of both of those, which I say every time I'm going to do better. Getting videos. I'm going to document, right? At the very least, I'm going to take pictures of all the deals that I do. And man, I didn't get any video. I got a couple pictures, but I have a lot of stories to tell. There is a lot of context to put to some of these cards, and a lot of stories that go with them. So if you enjoy that type of thing, I think you'll enjoy this video. It was a hell of a weekend, right? No partying or anything like that. Just straight deals. Some I didn't do so good on, I'll be honest. Some I did, I think, okay on. This is a collector grinded and came home with his, like, really important cards that he's been wanting. That's what this is. That's what my weekend was. My partner Josh, he just completed a raw to grade cycle when Prison Football came out, and he's making the profits, right? He's getting up into the 8, 12, 15, 2K profit range from going raw to grade, and then parking some of those profits into, like, I think he got a Burrow Prism Silver PSA 10 rookie that he's parking some of his profits in, and then he's going to start his cycle over and do one last raw to grade while before the season starts, right? So he can get that in and possibly park more profits into another big card. Tell you what, man, that was a masterclass what Josh was able to do, and hopefully I'll have him on soon, and we can we can talk about that. But yeah, that's not what I did this time. What I did this time was target some cards, gave up some big ones, got some big ones, and now it's gonna be a total focus into where I go from here. Let's start small. Okay, let's start with some cool cards that I saw. Okay, is that fair? Can we do that? That I saw, but I did not pick up. This one I saw day one, 2005 Bowman Chrome DeMarcus Ware auto. I mean, I'm a Cowboys guy through and through. It's not something you see often. The fact that it's a 10 was intriguing. I think he wanted 3 or 350 on it. Just not something that I wanted to spend money on, but definitely something I wanted to stop down and get a picture of and show on this video, because it's a super cool card. I've never ran into this card into the wild before today, but that was a cool card. Here's another cool card, the Barkley Contenders Cracked Ice. It used to be a couple years ago, Charles Barkley didn't sign. So if you had an on-card Barkley auto, I think they first started popping up in like Flawless. Those things were going for big money. Now he signs a lot. But I like him in the Rockets stuff over the 76er stuff, just because I like the Rockets more. I'm in Texas. And that's how I remember him, honestly, is as a Rocket. How about this? This was also one I considered but passed on. A humongous card to pull, graded a 9. It's a paper card, so that's about right. I mean, that's a very sharp cornered card, very nice card. I think I forgot what this was. Maybe 8 plus. I gave it a couple minutes of consideration before I just decided not to pull the trigger. Great card. It just doesn't have. I'm not gonna say it doesn't have any place in my collection, because it certainly could. I just passed on it. Look, that should be enough. I just passed on. Now this was tougher to pass on. 2012 Leaf Pop Century Britney Spears signatures out of 10. PSA 9. If this would have been a PSA 10, I'd have jumped on it. Not saying that that's the only reason I didn't jump on it, but I'm what you might call a slight conspiracy theorist, and so Britney Spears is intriguing on so many conspiratorial levels that this is a Pop Century auto that I've kind of tucked in the back of my mind that, hey, if I ever run into one of these and the price is right, I'm trying to scoop this up. Oh man, I love this kid, and despite the Lakers being down 0-3 to the Nuggets right now, I'm really thinking about starting an Austin Reeves PC. I just love his story. I love that he came out of nowhere. I love that he's from Arkansas. I love that he's a white boy playing with some of the greatest black athletes / basketball players to ever do it, namely LeBron James. And it has nothing to do with like me cheering for white boys or anything like that. It's just, it's just kind of which one doesn't fit type of team picture, I mean, because he's a goofy looking white dude too. He's not white chocolate, right? He doesn't have his head shaved, and he's always constantly like slicking his hair over at the free throw line. He's just kind of a bumpkin, but damn, can he play? So that's what I mean. He's not a Euro. He's not LUKA. He's not Joker. He's Austin Reeves from freaking Arkansas, man, out there doing it in probably the biggest basketball town in America, LA, with the arguably best basketball player to ever do it, LeBron James. So that's what I mean. I love Austin Reeves. I love his story. Ultimately, why I passed on this was he wanted, so there's one sale. It was his. Guy was really transparent, from Chicago. Cool dude. Had an amazing case. I wish I had got more pictures of his case, actually, to show you guys. But he had some awesome cards. And he was straight up with me. He told me he would take 2,500, and he told me he was a 3K comp. I mean, obviously, it's the only one of these that is sold. So he could have made up some story about, well, that wasn't me on eBay, and I paid 5K for this card, and I need at least 4, and yada, 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 right? The typical, like, dealer, like, bullcrap story so they can weave a little profit. But he just wanted to get off this card, and he was willing to take a $500 loss. But what stopped me was that I only paid 3K for my Dirk championship tag auto out of 2, out of flawless, and game used. Okay, this is out of 5, out of immaculate, and not game used. Granted, it wasn't a Dirk rookie, but I don't know. I still am going to try to build a Austin Reeves collection. I'm just going to try to stay to the more kind of flagship stuff. Next card was actually at the Black Jaded Wolves table. Now, I'm not here to bash Sharon. I like Sharon. But I will give you some context on where she was at on this. So this is a Upper Deck Ionics Dirk reciprocal. So it's numbered out of 100. It's a Dirk rookie. It's a gem. There's a lot to like, right? It's a big price tag. A lot to like on this card. But the last comps are around, like, I think one did 2,100. One did like 2,300. Maybe one did 2,500. So she's doubled the last comps straight away on her prices. I asked her if I could do half cash, just to kind of feel her out, see where she was. I basically asked her if she'd look at my case, and she did, and she picked out a couple things, but narrowed them down to this green scope, Deshaun Watson auto, PSA 10, and this camo Watson Prism BGS 95. She pulled both of these out. She said she'd be willing to maybe look at taking one of these. But she wanted to be at 3,500 minimum, which was still, again, almost twice as much as the last comps. And when I asked her kind of why she was so high, she said because it's 100 out of 100. I thought, she likes the number. Okay. I guess it's not a jersey number. I mean, it's a bookend. I guess that's cool. But both of those Deshaun's were comping around between 16 and 18, 1900, somewhere in there. And I asked her, I said, which one would you want? And she said, well, I like the color match and the short, like the low serial number of the camo, but I also like the PSA 10 of the green scope. And I think she said that she probably would want the camo, and I said, well, I'll give you the camo, which has comps recently of 1700 plus, right in there, not 2K, but in the 17 to 2K area. I offered her that card and $1,000 for this, which would have put it at $2,700, which was $500 or $600 over the last comp. And she didn't even counter. She was like, "No, I can't go that low." And so I was like, I packed up my stuff. I was really polite. Like I said, I like her, no hard feelings, but it just wasn't something she was looking to do. Last card here, Jimmy Butler. This is a really great card. Panini Totally Certified Rookie Roll Call Red. Now it's not sticker. It looks like it's sticker possibly because of the different color down here, but I think that is actually on card. That's just the space they put for them to sign. And it's red, and it's Jimmy, and it's a rookie, and it's a 10. Excuse me, lots to like about this. I don't love certified, but I was totally willing to look past that just because of the beauty of this card and how so hot he is right now. But then I started looking at comps, and the last comps are like 250, 350. And while I can appreciate those are a couple weeks old, not like months old, a couple weeks old. I can appreciate this card has doubled since then. Maybe if the last comp was 3, this is a $600 card. Maybe another 150 because he's so hot. So maybe half of what this sticker was. And then he said it was jersey numbered, which let's see, it is 22. Which I think that's his number now in Miami, but it wasn't in Chicago. So it's like, how do you look at that? If the jersey that he has on in the card isn't the number that matches here, is that really his jersey number? He was trying to tell me it was, and he said he had a cash offer of like 12 or 13, I can't remember, which I don't believe, but maybe he did. So I said, well, I appreciate that. It's not going to be an offer I can beat, so I moved on, and now we can start talking about some of the pickups that I did make. I did make a video Friday night, or was it Thursday night? Thursday night, because I picked up some stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yep, okay, yeah. So let's go in chronological order here. And I'll do this quickly because, like I said, if you watched that video, then you know about some of these. Did that just pop out? What I think just popped out? Try not to look if I'm giving it away. And yeah. Okay, so quickly, these I picked up. I picked up this for $150. I thought that was a steal. The last comp on it was $380. I think it was a comp the dealer missed because the comp before that was around $150, $170. So I picked that up. They're up 3-0. Well, Boston is toast. Picked this up at a good price. This is a Pop 10 card. It's out of 75. The blue Deshaun. Talked about how much I love this card. This one is out of 25. It's the Boban Game Used. Immaculate. Love that card. 45 on that. And then this was a cool card. The Electric Etch. I think it's a case hit out of Obsidian. The Dirk color match with the white jersey. So some smaller stuff. Well, not smaller. That Deshaun's pretty big. But just some cool stuff on Thursday. Moving into Friday. Now, Friday I was only able to be there for a couple hours, and I had to pick up my wife and kid from the airport. And just as the just as my time of the show was ending, because I had to pick them up at 4, a huge storm rolled through and hail and all kinds of. I got in my car and kind of drove away from the storm, but I saw a couple Dallas Card Show videos showing the hail that was coming down, and it looked awful. I'm glad I got out of there. But let's see, what did I pick up that day? I think well, even if I think I picked these up. Yep, and yeah, I'll save that big boy for last. So the first deal I made, I stopped at my friend Sappy's table and pulled some stuff out of his like bargain boxes, I guess. I'm a sucker for Color Ice. I'm a sucker for Cowboys. How can you not pick up an Emmitt Smith out of 99? This is 50 out of 99. Looks like I might grade this just to stick it in my case, because this is an awesome card to me. I think I paid $20 on that. This was the first Austin Reeves I bought. Now it is off-centered. I don't think it would gem, but this seems to be a problem with this card. Is a lot of them are off-centered like this. So I think I paid $20 for this, and then this. This was awesome. Game used Christian Okoye, Jamal Charles, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire down there out of 10 from Immaculate. The Nigerian Nightmare, Christian Okoye. If you guys ever played, was it Tecmo Bowl? I guess it was Tecmo Bowl. Christian Okoye was a running back for the Chiefs in that game, and he would bruise people. Maybe I'm getting my early football video games mixed up. It could have been something like PlayStation, like Game Day '98, or I don't think it was an early Madden, but I want to say it was Tecmo Bowl. Maybe in the comments you can tell me if you remember. But he would also always fumble in that game. If you hit him, he would shake and fumble the ball a lot, and that was true of him in real life too. But I mean, you never see Christian Okoye patches. So, and I mean, every patch on here is pretty nice. Usually they'll put one just lame napkin, out of the 3, but not in this case. So this was an exciting pickup for me. And I got all 3 of these for $60, 60 or 65, I can't remember. So like no brainers, right? For me. And then the other deal I did that day was for this. Now this is an Austin Reeves Revolution rookie out of 10. This is a Revolution lava. It's gradable. It could gem. I paid $250 on this. There was a PSA 10 comp at $220. There was a raw comp at $150. I think this card actually sold. So I stretched a little, but the way I justified it was this is something that I could possibly gem through PSA. And, it's one thing to stretch a little bit on a huge card. Like, it's one thing to pay, let's say the last comp was $1,500 and you're paying $2,500 on a card. That's one thing. But it's a whole other deal if it's a small card like this and you're still going to be like, a 200 plus, total out the door. I knew if I walked away, I wouldn't see this again. And so I just wanted to snap it up. So sometimes you have to be flexible with your comps. And I don't blame the seller for not being there. I mean, he's been great this postseason. And that comp wasn't like months ago. It was weeks ago, but still. I think Austin Reeves has woken enough people up to how good he could potentially be that something like this isn't going to necessarily be held to a last comp standard, especially raw, when there could be a lot of money to make if it does gem. But I won't be selling it. I'll just be putting it in my Austin Reeves PC. Okay, so that was, it's a dirty team bag. Let me get a new one. So that was Friday. And so then I went and picked up my family from the airport, and they had a great time. And I went back Friday night with Josh for a little while, and they didn't have, and of course, it's not an official trade night on Friday night. It's more just that the hotel allows people to overtake the entire lobby and the hallways downstairs, which that hotel is so awesome. Shout out to the, what is it, the Marriott. They're awesome people. Convention Marriott at Waters Creek. They're very accommodating, and they're half the reason that show's so awesome. Because if they were sticklers about stuff, and I mean, people are always carrying around beers, and there's like people smoking weed like crazy. It's nuts. It's a wild scene at the Dallas Card Show. Not openly smoking weed, but it reeks of weed everywhere you walk. Whether it's in the showroom or whether it's in the hallways, it smells like a skunk everywhere you go. But we were there a couple hours and got out of there early, so around 10:30 or 11, so we could be fresh for Saturday, and that's what we did. Let me start in chronological order here. What did I do first? Saturday. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. Boom. I picked this up. I saw this in a guy's case. He had 15K sticker on it. And I mean, this is a True Gem Plus, which there's a big premium on the True Gem Pluses right now, especially because people are kind of assuming that Beckett is going to bump this to a 10. And you don't see many of these. This is the Optic Rated Rookie Signatures Blue. This is out of 49, 22 out of 49. There's like a handful of 10, PSA 10s on this, maybe 5 or 6. And then a bunch of men, well, not a bunch, but the 9.5s mostly are men gems. So essentially, I spent some cash on this, some cash that I had gotten from my 18K 110 slab bonanza at the last Dallas show that I kind of tucked that away. I pieced out some of that money for my wife's the latest tattoo, bought my son a guitar, helped fund this Orlando trip to go see Slipknot. Like, I didn't want to just rat hole all that money like it was strictly for cards, right? Because it wasn't. It was time for me to, throw back in on some of my card money to the family. So I happily did that. But then I did spend some on this, but I also was able to trade a significant amount for it as well, which definitely helped. Here is what I gave. I gave a red tray, which is a recent pickup for me. I liked that card. I think about maybe if I can get into that card at around the same price I got into it. Into this one I might, but basically I got full comps on all these. I got like 700 on there, or 700 I think on this tray. This Jazz Chisholm does about 250, and it's something that I graded and has just been sitting in my case. So 7 and 250 is 950. I got 450 on this Wander Blue Shimmer. I think this was out of 125. So that's what, 1400. This Bow, first Bowman 2016, PSA 10 rookie. It's the base version. Does about 450. So that's 1850. And then this Aaron Judge was one that I sent to Beckett and came back in 8, if you remember that video, because it had that like line across the bottom. So I cracked it because I knew it would just be more eye appealing in a 1 touch than it would in an 8. And the guy loved it. He wanted it, and he didn't spend too much time looking at the condition of these 2 ungraded cards. And I got like a 750 value on the Judge. I only paid 250 last year for it, so that was nice. And then on this LUKA, I ran into a friend I hadn't seen in years, and he just was carrying this around like he just stole it. It was it was looking to sell it to somebody. He didn't have any other cards, just this. So we caught up for a minute, and he wanted 200 on this. Now he said he pack pulled this. Um, I don't know if I believe him because I took this to Striving for Tens, which is a guy that kind of does card care. Took it over there and had him look at it, and he said, "Well, definitely somebody's tried to clean this up because he could tell it had like a wax substance on it." And then he pointed out that the bottom on the back, the bottom right corner, had a little bit of a lift on the edge. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like really even that noticeable, but it definitely wasn't pack pulled the day before, so I got fibbed too on that. But I only paid $200 for this. I don't know if this would gem. It would definitely 9, and I got $250 in trade value for it. So all told, let's see, I was at 7, 259.50, 450 is 1,400, 1,850, 2,050. I was at like $2,800 here. And full comps on trades, and where I was on this was about 1,000 higher than the last BGS min gym comp, and so you can figure that out. But it was, I thought, a good deal because it's a gym mint plus. And plus, all that aside, this is one of my grails. This is one that I wanted to acquire, the True Blue optic, and so if my show had ended right here, right now, and this was my take home LUKA, success, A+, loved the show, right, and would be sitting here making this video for you guys, and happy as I could be, but that's not where the LUKA story ends. This card right here. So the story on this one was, I don't know if you remember, but I had this 9.5 Deshaun BGS, a true gem, 9.5 quad 9.5, and like I said, that was a card that I had like kind of floated in that Dirk deal with Miss Sharon, but she ultimately passed. She ultimately passed. And the 9.5 was doing about 17. And what we're seeing typically, I think, on most cards, not all, this isn't universal, but is that a min 9.5 does about half of what a PSA 10 does. And then a PSA 9 does about a third of what a PSA 10 does. Okay. Now, quad 9.5s and gym mint pluses are going to vary depending on the card, but I don't think that people are anticipating Beckett moving the quad 9.5s up to a 10. So I think they carry less premium, and I think that you could kind of assume them to be at the min gym level, just because there's no 10 subgrade. I really don't think they're going to bump. That was one of the biggest complaints from people was, how can you bump a quad 9.5 to a 10? There's not a 10 on the whole card. So just kind of know that as you move forward. But for me, I was valuing this twice as much as that BGS 9.5. So this is about 3,400. I was talking to a guy from Ryan's Cards LLC. He's the one that bought all those slabs from me. It's got a great Discord. It's $15 a month to get into it, but you can find a lot of great deals buying and selling in that Discord. One of his, actually, he referred to him as his best friend. His name was Austin Greco. Austin, shout out to you. Austin had this, and Austin and I both thought that Sam Darnold was a kind of a sneaky dark horse, let's just say. Somebody you could get cheap and possibly has a high ceiling, especially if he gets to run with the 49ers. His stuff could literally jump the most from like anybody this year in the game, in football. But it's a risky play. I think you guys saw my Sam Darnold bag. It had the National Treasures with the really cool Jets patch. I'll throw it up here. Now I don't have a picture of the entirety of this deal, but basically I cashed out on my Sam Darnolds. Basically, I kept a green Prism PSA 10 rookie, and I kept a silver PSA 10 rookie from the 2018 Prism set, my favorite football set. I could the comps on those two are so low, but those are the two I really wanted to hang on to. But I gave my Quad 9.5 camo, and then I made up the difference entirely in Sam Darnold. So I got like 900 for the National Treasures, which is about 100 more than I paid. And then I got recent comps, which was about what I paid to a little more than I paid on, let's see, what were they? It was a couple field level silver PSA 10s. It was a red, white, and blue Prism PSA 10 auto, the short print. It was a silver Prism auto. And it all totaled up to 1,700. So I was able to get to where this was, half with the Quad 9.5 and half with Sam Darnold's. Basically, I'm out on Sam Darnold now, except for my green and my silver that I have in my case. But I upgraded to this, and of course, I'd rather have a PSA 10 than a BGS Quad 9.5 when it comes to any Prism card. So I'm excited about that. It's kind of a lateral move, but he was able to basically keep his card and just grab a bunch of free Sam Darnolds. Now I told him, that'd be a great candidate to crack and resub. And he said he wouldn't crack a Quad 9.5 because he would risk like losing that Quad 9.5 status. Maybe still having a 9.5 but getting a 9 in one of those subs. I don't know. If I was him, I'd crack it and sub it into PSA 10, and then you basically just got all those Sam Darnolds. It's like $1,700 in Sam Darnolds for free. But for me, I was just like, yeah, fuck it. Move along from Sam Darnold. I hope I don't live to regret that. It could be one of the epic mistakes of my life, but we'll see. Next, what do I have left here? Okay. Next was this one. Okay, and you guys know I'm a huge Garbage Pail Kids fan. You guys know I love Trump. You guys know I love the GPK political stuff. This is the first Trump time I've ever seen in the wild as a 10. I have about 4 or 5 9s that I graded. First time I've ever seen this in the 10 slab. This does about... the last comp was 1,500, and it was a paid for comp, but then it had auctioned off like at around 900. But it's been more of, I think that low auction was just kind of a really good deal somebody got. It's been selling more around the 15 to 2K range. But the reason I picked this up is because A, I wanted it, but B, he was willing to take back a Mahomes that I really didn't have any problem letting go. I have a picture of this deal. Here we go. So yeah, he had a 2K sticker on the Trump, but we settled in at the I think at around a $1,200 value maybe, because I traded this blue shimmer Mahomes. Now this is a first off the line from 2018 Prism, and it's out of 9. And I basically got the Trump and $500 for the Mahomes. Second year Mahomes, not color matched. It is short. It is a low serial number, but this surprisingly wasn't getting any looks or love when people go through my case. So I figured I'd move on it and get a little cash back in my pocket and grab this iconic Garbage Pail Kids in a 10. I think pop is around 30 on this. So I liked the deal, and I liked that I was getting some cash back. But epic card for me here. I love this card. So that was a nice little midday Saturday pickup. And then this one, So I didn't open any Monopoly. Um, won't open any Monopoly. Not even really a big fan of the Monopoly. But this guy had this. It's a black money parallel. So it says Monopoly money or money black. It's a LUKA. It's the only one graded. He had 1,200 on this, which, so here's a lesson in being greedy, okay? Seller had 1,200. I looked at the last comp, and it was a raw one that sold for 700. I told him, look, even if I said, if I even want this card, I said I wouldn't be anywhere near 12. I'd be probably more around what the last raw did. And I said that was 700. He said, well, could you do 8? And then I started looking into it more, right? So he asked for $100 more, right? I started looking into it a little bit more, and I noticed that these raw of like LeBron and Steph and Giannis were doing like 450, 375, all auctions, right? But still. And I was like, man, wait a second, time out. I'm not paying twice as much as, like I said, this offer, best offer comp of 700 on this was a stretch. Somebody went and stretched for that. I said, I think this is more like a $400 card. And I said, I really, honestly, I'm probably not going to be interested. But boy, he was motivated to sell. We went all the way from 1,200 down to 450. I picked this up for 450, which is essentially the money I made on the Trump. So, yeah, and I was like, you know what, this is a cool Monopoly card. It's a cool little LUKA. I'm not sure why. Like, the centering looks a little bad left to right, but I don't know as these grade whether there'll be many that gem or not. But this was just cool, and at 450 it was kind of a no-brainer, just because I just made that money up, and he could have had 7 from me, but he got greedy for the extra 100. He allowed me time to get into my phone and start looking a little deeper at comps and thinking things through a little longer. And when you allow a buyer to do that, you allow him to discover more about the true maybe value of the card, and then they become less interested. And if you're not willing to let that seller or buyer walk away, now you have to keep knocking the price down until you find a place where the buyer's comfortable at. And for me, it was 450. So he said his wife wanted to open a bunch of Disney boxes, so he was motivated to sell it. So I bought it from him. Okay, last 2 here, and they happened in about 20 minutes of each other. And this is Saturday night. This is trade night. Walked around. And, well, I found this. Guy had 6,500 on it. Couldn't be anywhere near that. I got a steal on this card. Let's just say that. However, one just auctioned last night that I didn't see. That was several $100s cheaper than this. Now, this is a big card, and it's only a pop, I think. I don't know what the pop count on this is, but it's like maybe 40, I think. So these don't come up very often. And this was a PWCC auction. The PWCC auctions have been running really low just because people have lost a lot of confidence in PWCC. And just because this auctioned at that number, and I'm going to let you guys go investigate just because I don't be throwing numbers around too much. Just because this auctioned at that number doesn't mean that everyone will be willing to sell at that. Like I said, I got a really good price on this. And if I had tried to win that PWCC auction and we went back and forth, it wouldn't have taken long to get to where I was on this. So that's how I'm justifying, that to myself. Again, it wasn't a comp when I made this deal. It was actually, it just sold last night, and this was Saturday night that the deal happened. But like I said, Pop 40 card. This is a card that got up as high as like 60, 65, 67. I don't think it ever got to 7. Well, in the bubble it did. In the bubble, this was like a 15K card, but yeah, these aren't everywhere, especially being auctioned off. So I was able to grab one. I was happy. I have it, and I was like on cloud nine after I picked this up. Walking around, and then I ran into a guy that had the card that is underneath this. If you're on Instagram and you follow me on Instagram, then you already know what this card is. But let me just go ahead and show you. It's the blue ice. It's the Luka Doncic blue ice out of 99. This happens to be 5 out of 99. And it has arrived. It's the one card that has eluded me for, well, ever since I had a chance to grab one back in 2018, let's be honest. This was a 100K card back during the bubble. And it was something that I had targeted and wanted to kind of wait for the right deal to happen on. I found one or two in my life that I neared a deal on. One with a guy named Mr. Timothy Likes Cards. That's his Instagram handle. And he was involved in this, although I didn't get this directly from him. So let me see if I can tell this story quickly. Originally, when we talked, Timothy and I, he wanted my camo Mahomes auto PSA 10. You've seen that card. Here it is. I'll show it here. Okay, so the story on this Mahomes was that it did 21.6 back in August of last year, right? When they lost Tyreek, right before the season started, and I traded into it a little higher than that. And then he wins the Super Bowl, right? But the card market comes down a little bit. And so people are like, they don't want to be where that last comp was on this Pop 6 camo Mahomes. I've heard everywhere from, well, Alt gave me a 16K offer. I had a 20K offer on My Slabs. I had another 20K verbal offer through Baseball Jesus. But, I was at like 23K or 20K and like 6K trade. But I just couldn't get it done. I posted that card in the old school Facebook group while I was at Dallas this weekend. It said 23K at Dallas. Started talking to some guy, and he wanted to be at 18. I said, I couldn't be at 18. I said, tell you what, I'll be at 21.6, which is the last comp. He said he couldn't get there. Well, all right, fine. Then we're done. He did that whole, I can't get there, but if you sell it, let me know, and I'll see if I can beat the price. Which, I can't hate for that, because I've done that to my friend Josh before, but I got another message on Saturday after I posted that from Mr. Timothy. And Mr. Timothy basically asked about this card again, and I said, dude, I would take your Blue Ice Luka and 3K. And I follow Mr. Timothy on Instagram, so I see all his pickups. And recently he had 2 of these, and he razzed one in TK Razzes. And he got like 23. Well, that's what the Razz total was, like 2,300. So I thought he had 1 left. And I thought that that's what I was talking to him about, was his 1 Luka he had left. Well, he said he could do the Luka and 1K. But he was on his way down to a party in Austin, and it would have to be, this was Saturday, it would have to be Sunday night. When he came back, we could meet up. I said, I can't do 1K, dude. I'm firm at 3. If you want it, it's going to cost you your blue ice and 3K. He said, well, he said, I'm going through bad reception right now. And I think what he was doing was buying time. And he was talking to a friend of his named Brian, who was, I think, from South America. I'm not sure. Well, this guy was standing right beside me when I was doing my deal for this card with Austin. And Austin and I were talking about the camo Mahomes. and he overheard us. And it turns out he like when Mr. Timothy told me he was in bad reception, he was actually like texting this guy back and forth. And so this guy was cool. We like shook hands, and he was like, "Look, he's the one who's asking me should he do this deal, and I'm the one telling him, like advising him along the way." And he showed me in his messages. He said last message I left him um, was offer the blue ice at 1.5 and see where it goes from there. But I'm bullish on Mahomes. To me, that means start at 1.5, be willing to go up. I do like the deal, however, is what I took from that message. So then I get a message from Mr. Timothy. Look, I could do 2K right now. Like right now, I could do 2K. But aside from that, I'm gonna have to sleep on it. And I said to him, I can't do 2K. I'm firm at 3K. I said, but if you want, send me like 1,500 right now, and I'll put this card away, and then you can settle up with me tomorrow. Pay me the other 1,500. Like, if you want this to go off if you want my Mahomes to go off the market, you got to give me 1,500. You got to give me half now, just as a commitment. And he was unwilling to do it, so I moved on. And it was in the back of my mind that this is probably going to happen. I couldn't imagine him getting this close on the Mahomes again and then letting it walk. The first time we discussed, my offer to him was my Mahomes and my 9.5 blue LUKA for his blue ice 10 and his 10 blue. So I was going to just upgrade my 9.5, kind of like I did with the Deshaun, which would have been like a 6K difference. But he didn't want to do that. So now I basically had cut my ask in half. I was going to take 3K, but I wanted it in cash. Well, I was sitting with a couple young guys on the outskirts of trade night, and we were talking about the blue ice LUKA somehow, and they were like, well, hey, our friend has one, and he's looking to move it. Do you want us to call him over? Yes, get him over here. So he comes over. Now, mind you, my whole case is with me, and I decided not to just pull out the Mahomes and be like, look, I'll trade you this for the blue ice and 3K. I said, I'm going to let him pull stuff he likes from my case and just see where he gets. Well, he starts pulling, and he pulls my flawless Mahomes second-year patch auto. He pulls an orange Prism Burrow 10. He pulls the Tiger LUKA Prism 10, and then he gets to the Mahomes. He pulls it, and he shows me, and he just smiles. His name's a VJ, Indian kid, great kid, from Dallas, big-time collector, young. I think he's in high school. I said, it's available. And he just looked at his friends and smiled, and I said, he goes, I'll trade you straight up for it. And I said, no, I can't do that. I said, he goes, I'll give you 1,000 on top of it. I said, I can't do that. And then I said, look, I'll just be real honest with you, okay? I said, I'm already talking to a guy. He's in Austin right now. He's offered me 2K plus the blue ice for the Mahomes. I'm at 3. I'm firm at 3. I'm not letting it go for anything less than that. And I can show you my messages if you don't believe me. He goes, who is it? And I said, it's a dude named Mr. Timothy. And they just all look at each other. VJ bought this card from Mr. Timothy for like 17.7, which is like 87% of the last comp. It hit me right then and there. Mr. Timothy doesn't have another one of these. He's working off the premise that he can get this card back from this kid. And this kid goes, you know what? Mr. Timothy's been like texting me all day about how much he misses this card and wants it back. Yeah, he misses it because he's like trying to get my Camo Mahomes. And I told him that. And I said, you have this Camo Mahomes in your hands right now. And you have the blue ice LUKA. All you need to do is get to 3K cash, and it's yours. And he did it. Boom. PayPal'd me 3K. He was so happy. He threw up on his Instagram, wow, just acquired the biggest card of my life. Thank you, USA Patriot Cards. Guess who liked that post? Yeah, you know who. Mr. Timothy. But Mr. Timothy doesn't say anything to me. I post this in my Instagram. Wow, finally it's landed. Yada yada. Right? Got the blue eyes finally. He likes that too. See VJ the next day. He's walking around. This is Sunday. Yesterday, and I said, "Do you still have it?" He goes, "Yeah, I still have it." I said, "I bet." I said, "I bet it's gone by the end of the day." He goes, "No, no, no, no. I'm holding this until at least nationals." I just was talking to my friend Josh. I'm like, this kid is all about the thrill. Like, less about collecting a certain player, less about a direction, and all about like the thrill of the new pickup. Wouldn't you know? Last night I get home, I open Instagram because Instagram was down for a while yesterday. So when it finally popped up, boom, I see this. Mr. Timothy flexing the camo Mahomes that I had just traded the day before to VJ. And I was like, yep, I suspected this. And I was thinking to myself, and I was talking to Josh, I'm like, I wonder what he got back. Like, it had to be something great, right? Like, hopefully it was like 25K in cards and a little bit of cash. Like, hopefully Mr. Timothy had to like pay up for this, and it cost him a little bit to like be so cute, because he could have had this deal. But he was trying to finesse it too hard and lost it. And then I go to VJ's page, and this is what he got. He got an optic, I guess, superfractor, Paolo Banchero 101 auto raw. Nope, not the card I was hoping that he would have got back for that Mahomes. I don't know, dude. Everything I've like, Paolo's a great player. Whatever. He's on the Orlando Magic. He's young. He's exciting. He's good. But is he worth a camo? I messaged him and I said, "Hey man, awesome card. Did you get any other cards? Cash?" He said, "No, this was all I got." I didn't want to break the kid's heart or whatever. And I was like, "Man, that's an awesome card. Congrats." You might be thinking, "Man, wow. What a card. What an awesome 101. Paolo." But that card is on ice for the next, 6 months until basketball starts back up. And then that card is so big and it's such a risk. It's not even graded. You're going to ask somebody to put in 20, 25K into that card. That Mahomes could have sold all day at 20K pretty much. By the time football season rolls around, maybe it's worth 25. Maybe you get a guy to come up past where I was getting offers because it's closer to football, right? And it's hotter. I just don't understand the pickup. I don't understand. And then he messaged me and he was like, I kind of felt bad, like I stole this card from under Mr. Timothy. And I didn't say anything. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to find out what he got. I wasn't there to like offer any advice or any context, or because he didn't ask for it. But dude, he didn't know Timothy shit. Timothy fumbled this deal. And then in the end, I think Timothy got his card for really, a nice card, but not anything I would have traded that Mahomes for. No way. Plus no cash back. I don't know. Leave your likes or leave comment below. Sorry, I can't talk. Comment below how you think VJ did. Do you like that Paolo Superfractor auto better than this in 3K? Now, to me, I'm a LUKA guy through and through. This was the grail missile that I've been waiting for. It didn't matter to me. This is home. It's not going anywhere. This stays with me, right? I was targeting this card. I just wanted to maximize my return, and I knew it was probably going to cost me that Mahomes. But let me know what you think. An ungraded 101 Superfractor auto from Donruss Optic. Maybe he crushed it. I don't think he did. I think that's probably a 13K card, maybe, where you could get somebody to buy it raw. Now, if you graded and it came back a 10, it's a lot sexier, and who knows, it might be perfect, and it might be a 10 just waiting to be graded. But again, I don't think in this market with with high-end cards, it's got to be in a player like a LUKA, like a Mahomes, like a LeBron. It can't. I just don't think people are willing to pay that much in spec on a player, even though it's a one-on-one, even though it's an auto on card. It checks a lot of really nice boxes, but what the most important box that it fails to check is the player. He's a first year. He's 20 years old. He wasn't even the #1 consensus pick. Jabari Parker Jr. was like right there with him. Ultimately, he got picked. He won Rookie of the Year, but he's like a Giannis type where that he doesn't really have a like jump shot yet and doesn't play any defense. Because trust me, I read up on him. Like I knew who he was and I'd seen him. You know, I'm not totally just oblivious to who Paolo is, but I really wanted to understand how good he is. How big is this card? And I wasn't impressed with what I read. Again, I mean, I'm curious to know what you think, but you know, just the story that surrounded finally getting this card, and it capped off a wild ass Dallas card show. And yeah, it's going to take me weeks to like fully process everything that happened and contextualize this, because let me tell you something. The card world is about this big. So protect your reputation, and because people are going to know who you are. They're going to know if you're lying. They're going to know if you're trying to get cute. They're going to know. They're going to know. It doesn't take long before you run into somebody who runs into somebody who knows somebody who's seen something, who knows that card. Just play it straight, shoot it straight, and you'll be fine. But Mr. Timothy didn't do anything wrong by any means. I just think his negotiating tactics, I don't know. More power to him. Let him do what he does. I'm a big believer in that. But yeah, he almost missed it. And I think he finessed this kid big time. I think, VJ, I think you got cooked, flipped over, cooked some more. Again, I could be wrong. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think. Thank you, guys. Sorry it was so long, but it was a big one. It was a big story to tell. But damn, that's why I love the Dallas Card Show. It never fails to deliver. And I'm already looking forward to the next one in July. So I'll be on here way before then, though, I'm sure. I did pick up a few new cards from Josh that I'll probably show you in the next day or two. But until then, take care of yourself. Yeah, it's looks like it's going to be Miami and Denver. Going full Miami. Jimmy Butler all the way. So my Bam White Sparkle can be sexy and I can flip that thing. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.